What if I told you this tiny three-legged device helped put a man on the moon? This is a transistor, and it's the heart of almost every electronic gadget you've ever used. My name is James Apanda, your private tutor for understanding electricity. Please like and share the video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so to support me. Also hit the notification bell for my upcoming videos. Thank you. A transistor can act as a switch. It can also make weak electrical signals stronger. There are two types of transistors. We have the bipolar junction transistor and the field effect transistor. In today's video, I am going to talk about the bipolar junction transistor. Now, the bipolar junction transistor has three terminals. We have the base, the collector, and the emitter terminals. A small amount of current applied to the base controls a large current flow through the collector and emitter terminals. Think of a transistor's base as the water tap handle and the collector emitter terminals as the pipe. A small twist to the tap handle allows a large water flow through it. Now, the bipolar junction transistor is further broken into two types. We have the NPN type and the PNP type. Today, we are going to look at how to identify an NPN transistor and a PNP transistor using the multimeter. Alright. Okay, so we are ready to test and identify which type of transistor is NPN and which type is PNP. So we have a number of transistors here which we are going to use for that. But before we go on, let us see the construction of both types of transistors. We have the NPN transistor. This is how it looks like, the construction. We have, because it's NPN, we have two types of N semiconductors, and then we have one layer of P-type. You realize that the P-type is very thin, and then for the PNP we have one layer of N-type semiconductor sandwiched between two layers of P-type semiconductors. And again we have only the N which is just one layer is the base, and then the P's are the collector and emitter respectively. All right, so for the testing of the transistors, we're going to have forward bias and then reverse bias. So forward bias and then reverse bias. All right, so for forward bias, we're going to have a reading. When the meter is showing some reading on its display, it means that it's forward bias, and when it is reverse bias too, you will see that there will be no reading. It will only be showing OL. All right, so let's see. So let's start with this tiny transistor, this tiny one. Okay, so we start by placing any of these two test leads to any of the terminals, because our aim is to look for the base. We don't know the base, so our aim is to look for the base. But before we do that, we have to condition the meter for whatever we are going to test. We are going to test the transistor, and the best range for it is the diode range. So we need to select for the diode range, and looking at it, we have to select this range. We have about 4 different test ranges here. So this is a multi-range. We have the omega symbol for resistance. We have the diode symbol. We have the capacitor, and we have sound wave. When you are to test semiconductor devices, mostly it is the diode range that is the best range to use. So for this, we need to use the selector to select the exact range, because right now we are on ohms. That is why we have the mega ohms here. You see the omega symbol, the omega symbol. So that tells you that we are on resistance range, but we need to change that. So let's select. So realize that the omega symbol is still there because continuity is usually displayed in resistance. So we need to select for. So now you realize that we have diode. So this is what we're looking for. And whatever measurement will be taken is in terms of voltage. So we have the V displayed here. All right, so let's proceed with the test. All right, so because we don't know which is which, we don't know emitter, we don't know collector, we don't know base, and our aim is to test and identify whether it's an NPN or PNP. We just have to assume any of the terminals to be the base, and then we test. Usually we have to get 2 forward bias readings and then 2 reverse bias readings. So let's see. So let's assume that this is our base. So we put any of the test probes, the test leads to that one, and then we use the other test lead for the other 2 terminals. So like that. So quickly we have a measurement, we have a reading. So this is forward bias. We expect that the other terminal too will give us forward bias. But unfortunately, we don't have forward bias for this very terminal. We only have forward bias for this. No forward bias for this. That tells you that where we are, or where we have assumed to be our base, is not the base. So we need to move to the next terminal, maybe the middle terminal. So we are on the middle terminal. So let's test. There is no reading. So this is reverse, and there is no reading. This is also reverse. That is good. It tells you that we have a reverse and we have a reverse. So a reverse, we have a reverse reading. And so what we need to do is to interchange the polarities, bring the red one to the middle, and use the black one to test the other ones. In this case, we have to get forward reading. So bingo, we have the forward reading, and then we expect a forward reading too here. Yes, we have a forward reading. So indeed, this we can confirm to be the base, but we do not know the collector and emitter terminals yet. So that is what we are about to do now. So we can only know that by looking at the voltage difference between the collector, between the other 2 terminals. Always, all the time, the reading between the base and emitter should be greater than the reading between the base and collector. So let's see which one is greater than which one. So we have 0.709 volts. And we have 0.707 volts. So realize that this measurement is greater than this one. So that tells you that this is the base emitter reading, which is 0.08 volts. And this is the base collector reading, which is 0.707 volts. So this is our emitter and this is our base. Okay, so let's try another transistor. Let's try this one. Okay, so we are assuming, let's assume, because this one, the base is in the middle, let's also attempt to see whether this can also give us a base. Remember, whenever you are on the base, the other 2 terminals should give you either forward reading or reverse reading. So let's see. So this is the base. I mean, we are assuming this to be the base, so there is no reading. That is reverse, and there is no reading. That is reverse. So it's likely that this is our base since it has given us reverse reading. So we need to interchange the terminals to confirm whether indeed that is the base. So we reverse the terminals and then we measure. This is giving us forward bias. Yes, so it is good. It's a good indication. And let's see this one. This is reverse. Remember, this two must give us what? Forward. Not that one is reading forward and the other is reading reverse reading. So that is not good. So it tells that this is not our base. So let's come to the first terminal and see. Okay, so we are assuming this to be our base. Let's take this measurement. Yes, we have a reading, forward reading. The other one, the next one that we are going to do should also be forward. Okay, so this is also forward. That means that this can be our base, but we need to confirm it with the reverse reading. So for the reverse reading, we need to interchange the polarities and then place this on the first terminal, which we are assuming to be the base. So with this time, we expect a reverse reading. So no value, no value. So this is good. We have now confirmed this is our base. So we need to check which ones are our collector and emitter. Which one is our collector and which one is our emitter. But before we go into that, remember that this is a positive polarity and this is negative polarity. So yeah, so let's see. So we have P here and P here. So we have two P's like this, two P's. So it tells you that this is PNP because we have two P's and we have only one N. So this is PNP transistor. But then let's look at which one is emitter and which one is collector. We already know the base. So this is the base. Remember, the only way to know the collector and the emitter is by the difference in their voltage reading. So the base emitter voltage should be greater than the base collector reading. So we have this 0.632 volts, 0.64 volts, or 0.639 volts. So realize that this reading is lesser than this one. Indeed, this is greater than this one. So this is the emitter and this is the collector. All right, so that is that. Let's also try and test this transistor. This is a TO3 case transistor. It's metal. All the parts is metal. Usually transistors have 3 terminals, but this seems to have only 2. The reason is the metal body is the 3rd terminal. So let's see. Okay, so let's assume the metal case to be the base. Test and see. So this is giving us forward reading and this is not reading. So it tells you that this shouldn't, or this is not our base. So let's try another. So we have no reading, we have no reading. So it tells you that this can be our base because it has just passed the reverse test. The reverse test, it has passed it. So we only need to interchange the test leads. So the red one comes to where we are assuming to be the base. So we have a forward reading. We expect that the next terminal should also give us a forward reading. So yes, again we have a forward reading. So indeed, this is the base, but then we don't know the collector and the emitter. So let's see the difference in the reading. So this is 0.580 volts, and this is 0.588 volts. So the reading here is greater than the reading here. This is our emitter, this is our collector. And what type of transistor is it? Because we have the black test lead, which is negative, giving us a forward reading on this side and that side. It means we have two N-type semiconductor materials. So this is N, P, and then N. Yeah. So this is an NPN transistor, and the metal body here is the collector. This is the emitter, and this is the base. So there you have it. This is how to test and identify whether a transistor is a PNP type or an NPN type. So there you have it. I hope you were able to follow through the procedure for identifying whether a transistor is an NPN type or a PNP type. And remember, the best way of learning faster is by getting your hands on the job. Get some old electronic gadgets. Most likely you will find a lot of transistors in them. Test them and let me know your test results in the comment section. A hint here is to look out for a figure of 0.6 volts for the forward bias reading. Thank you for watching this video. See you another time.